this talk is not about how to achieve your dreams. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of talks out there which can teach you step by step how you can achieve your dreams. Actually, this talk is quite the opposite of that. What if you achieve your dreams and the dream feels empty? What if you got everything that you wanted, but now you're feeling, is this it? Is there something more to it? Help me out if you can relate with this feeling. Let's say you've desperately wanted to order something from a certain website, something that you really wanted to buy, a handbag or a car, I don't know, an expensive perfume or something. You have your eyes on that thing for the last several years. You've been saving up money to buy that thing. And now today you've placed the order, okay? Raise your hands if you know the excitement of that. Today I placed my order. I'm gonna buy my new car, right? Or that thing is arriving. Where's the courier? I'm tracking. Where is it? When it's going to ring the doorbell? And suddenly you receive the package and you open the package and there it is. Or you go to the car showroom and you get possession of your new car and there it is. Your dream has come true. And the excitement is there for half an hour, 1 hour, maybe a week. If you've spent a lot of money, maybe it's more than 2 weeks, right? It's not as exciting as I thought it was. What do I do now? What is next? And do you know what's missing? It comes from the African wisdom, from the Kalahari Bushmen in the Kalahari Desert. They say we human beings have two kinds of hungers. We have two kinds of hungers. The small hunger and the big hunger. The small hunger is what Jodhpur has been very kind to us, is the hunger for food, is the hunger for products, is the hunger for publicity, is the hunger for all the other things. That's the small hunger, right? But they say, most of us are after the small hunger, but we ignore the what? The big hunger. And the big hunger is the hunger for meaning and purpose. And one of the world's leading authorities on the subject of purpose is a gentleman called Dr. Viktor Frankl, who said, when we are not leading a life of purpose, we start to numb ourselves with pleasure. We spend more time on the phone, we spend more time shopping, doing other things, because we haven't discovered our purpose. And when we are hungry, as in the big hunger, and we are not feeding the big hunger, we also become, there's a phrase for when you're hungry and you're angry, right? What's it called? Hangry. And then you become hangry. Now, not only are you hungry, but you're also angry. You're angry at life. You're angry at others. You're angry at your parents. You're angry at everything. You're angry at the system. And why are you angry? Because you're not feeding the big hunger for meaning and purpose. So this is my story that I'll try to present in the time slot given to me. And I hope through this, you will be able to discover a template for your life. If you ever feel stuck, if you ever experience something similar, what is next? What now? If you have that feeling, I hope towards the end, I will share with you a template, but I want to, through this story, which is not about how to achieve your dreams, it is more about how to, what to do when you feel that your dream is still incomplete. And my journey begins in a small border town in Punjab. It's actually a tier 3 city. You can say it's a kasbah. It's not even a big town. It's Batala in district Gurdaspur, and that's where I grew up. And my only window to the outside world was my father had a subscription. That's my dad in the picture. That's me on the right-hand corner on his shoulder. My only window to the outside world to satisfy my curiosity was my father had subscription to a magazine called Reader's Digest. Heard of it? Yes? And Reader's Digest used to sell books, very expensive books, beautiful books, blue color, leather binding, but they were very expensive. So you could purchase them on installments. And some of you might be thinking, which era is this guy from? When you would buy books on installments. I know youngsters these days satisfy their curiosity through other means, but back then we did not have access to these resources. And thankfully, because we did not have to delete the history later on our books, right? So, and I was a very curious child. You can call this part of my life curiosity. I was full of curiosity about everything, how things work. How does the universe work? Guide to the places of the world. I want to travel. What all is out there? Turns out, I was curious about everything but studies. And what curiosity helps you do, my friends, is helps you decide what you like and what you don't like. I like this, I don't like this, right? And one of the books that would satisfy my curiosity was called Guide to the Places of the World. And through my exploration of what I like and what I don't like, one thing was becoming very clear. I like travel, I don't like math and algebra. Okay? So every time after I finish my exam or I finish my class, I would pick up that book and explore. You know, in that book, they had for every country, they would have devoted 3 or 4 pages. I would look at it, absorb it. And when you're curious, what happens? You have clarity. So I encourage you all to be curious about life, just like that childlike curiosity. Don't give up on that. When you're curious, you have clarity about what you want. And when you have clarity, you begin to dream. I like that. I like that. I want it. And if you believe in it, if you work hard for it, if you're lucky, if the stars align, what happens? The universe conspires. Remember that Paulo Coelho quote, which Shah Rukh Khan also used? When you want something desperately, the whole world, the whole universe begins to conspire to make it happen for you. Repeat after me, please. Everything that I want, I can achieve because the universe will conspire in my favor. Right, so if your intentions are pure, in that Hindi he said कि जब आप कुछ बिल्कुल बड़ी शिद्दत से चाहते हैं तो पूरी कायनात जुड़ जाती है. And dreams begin to convert into reality. And I was that person. I was that lucky person. From Batala district, Gurdaspur, and I stayed in Chandigarh for a while, but my next destination at 19 was Sydney, Australia. All right, a year before the Olympics. The city was packed with action. I did so many part-time jobs. I was exploring. I was becoming a new person in the process. I was living my dream. And Sydney, Australia was 10,000 miles away from home, from where I lived. After that, again, the universe is always conspiring. My first job was in the other part of the world, which is Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona, United States, with Marriott Hotels, and that's Sedona Desert, and that's where I was next. Over the course of the next 8 years, and this is how the universe conspires. I come from a family where becoming a doctor is the number objective. My grandmother, who you saw in that picture, was a gynecologist herself. And guess what the universe did for me? Since I wanted to travel, I picked a very odd choice. I studied hotel management. And this profession, I'm so thankful, took me across the world. The next 8 years, I traveled and lived in 5 countries, including the UK for 4 years, and Dubai, and these other places. It was in the UK where I was beginning to settle down. You know, kind of the definition of settling down. We had 2 incomes, no kids. I didn't have a rent to pay because I was staying in the premises. You know what happens when you lead a lifestyle like that? All the meals are coming from the hotel. I'm the resident manager. What happens to your bank balance? It grows. And it was growing a lot. To the extent when I went to apply for my US visa, the officer said, how did you manage to save all that money on a 22,000 pound salary? Now, let's be clear. I was not a millionaire or something at 26, 27, but it was a decent kitty, decent amount of money. I could have saved that money to buy a house, nice house in the UK, lived my happily ever after, right? You know, everything was all sorted out. What else can you ask for? This part of my life was called made it happen. To do, you know, this is what I wanted. I got it. And then the void made it happen. But, you know, there's this voice inside me. Is the rest of your life going to be a copy of the previous life? Are you going to just duplicate what you do the rest of you're only 27. Are you going to repeat this day in, day out? It's like, you know, again, the big hunger. I have successfully fed the small hunger every which way. All material possessions, all those boxes were ticked. The little Simerjeet from district Gurdaspur, Batala, was living his dream. And yet I was not happy. Yet I was not fulfilled. My body language had changed. I would just drag myself to work. I was not the same person that I knew I had the potential to be. So what I did, I started attending coaching sessions. I started meditating at that point of time. You know, in Zen Buddhism, they say, when the student is ready, the teacher emerges. I was finally ready to learn my real lessons at 27. I began meditating, reading, attending seminars. I started finding the answers, right? It turns out, later on I discovered they even had a name for what I was suffering from. It's called the summit syndrome. What's it called? Summit. When you reach the peak of the mountain, the summit, you're like, what do I do now? Right? So they divide achievement into, or life into 3 stages. How many stages? 3. Stage number 1 is the climbing. Is that fun? Yes, no. Climbing is fun. There's so many challenges. You have to prove yourself. You have to get ahead of the other guy. You have to do so many things. You have to learn. There's uncertainties. Uncertainty is good for you. That's the climb. But what happens after you climb? The next stage, they actually have 5 stages. I've divided into 3. The next stage is a dangerous stage. It's called plateauing. Plateauing, right? It's just like when an ECG begins to go flat a little bit, that's a matter of concern. When our careers, when our lives begin to go flat, that should be a matter of concern, because guess what? The next stage is coming and it's called descending. And that's when we do stupid things. We start numbing ourselves with pleasure. We start doing the wrong things because now we have more energy than we could use. I realized I had more energy, more creativity, more of me, it's more of a lot of good things inside me, which I was not even being allowed to use. But I'm really thankful to the last stage of this rocket propulsion of my journey. I don't hate it, but then it had served its purpose. I needed something new. And that can only happen, my friends, through the process of questioning. Learn to question, well, yourself, not others. If you do that all the time, you will not make friends. If you're questioning other people all the time, you'll be like that nosy auntie who wants to know everything that's going on in your life. All right? You got to question yourself, and don't question yourself all the time. That's dangerous too. You will never get anything done. But question when you are stuck. Is this it? That was the first question. Is this it? What's next? Picture abhi baki hai. You have to tell yourself time and again. Picture abhi baki hai. This is only the interval. This is not it. Who am I really? What are my skills? What are my strengths? Am I being allowed to use my strengths? Can I design my life just like I design my wardrobe? Can I design my life just like I design my diet? Right? What is stopping me? What will fulfill me? If this is not fulfilling me, what will fulfill me? Have my dreams changed? That was a very important question. Because I had achieved the dreams I wanted to achieve as a child. And now I needed what? I needed new dreams. Take a deep breath in and repeat after me. I will give myself permission to dream new dreams. Right? With time, a lot of things change. And our dreams should, as we change, we should think about this. Especially if you hit your goals, especially if you're feeling empty, especially if the big hunger is knocking on your door every day. Say, hello, you've eaten all the fast food and everything else, all the nice stuff you've tried, you foodie, you love all that. But me, meaning, purpose, where are you? And that comes through questions. I began to question, should I hang on to the life that I have? And it was a beautiful life. It was a beautiful life. I could just, when you can walk into a store and you don't have to look at the price tag, that's pretty decent place to be in life. Now, should I hang on to this for the rest of my life? Should I let it go? It was very scary, let it go. A lot of uncertainty. And then the next question, the demons inside said, what if you fail? And then one part inside said, what if you succeed? Who did I listen to? I listened to, what if I succeed? This is a beautiful quote. I love it. It comes from Pablo Picasso, the famous painter, who said, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. I think it's worth repeating. The meaning of life is to discover or find your gift. What am I good at? The purpose of life then should be, how much can I distribute it? I talked to my team members. I said, what do you, I had large teams. I had led multicultural teams in many places. In fact, when I was working in Dubai, I had 50 nationalities in my team, mix, and it was a learning process for me. I said, what do you think I'm good at as a boss? They would start telling me, the day I'm feeling low, you can really, you do, I don't know, there is something you do, I feel better, right? So I discovered my gift, and my gift was this. I felt a lot of joy and happiness and satisfaction in helping other people. But experiments, biggest adventures of your life, you should try them at home because there's a safety net. So I returned back to India. And what I'm trying to say to you is this. Let me go back here. These two things, to find your gift, and number two, to give it away. These two things, if you follow them, this could be the single biggest adventure of your life. It's not jumping out of an aeroplane. I respect all those things. I've done it too. right? It's not climbing the highest mountain. I respect people who've done it. But what if acts of bravery are not external? What if acts of bravery are these two simple things? Number one, I will discover my gift and then I will give it away. See, and then the universe always conspires. So the next cycle of my life, thankfully, I made it happen again. Remember this. Deep breath in. Repeat after yourself. The universe is always in my favor. Think about it. You just have to, it's like going to a restaurant and then you are presented a menu and you have to pick what you want, right? You can't just go into a restaurant and say, bring me anything. The server is going to be very confused. When you clarify what you want, so I'm coming to the close now through a very simple process. It begins with curiosity. Be curious about life. Be curious about life. The old joke goes curiosity killed the cat, right? No, it was ignorance that killed the cat. Curiosity was booked on wrong charges, right? So stay curious, because through curiosity, you can figure out what you like and what you don't like. That will give you dreams. And dream big, please. And then, God willing, you work hard, you will achieve your dreams. You will. Why not? Because the universe is always in your favor. It's always conspiring. And if you feel empty after that, you don't have to remain stuck there. Question yourself. What next? What can I do now? How can I if your computer gets stuck, what do? Control, Alt, Del, right? Hold it and it reboots, right? If your life feels stuck, you do a little mental Control, Alt, Del with yourself and question, press the reset button, be curious once again. All I want to say with you is this: give yourself permission to dream new dreams. I am now at the made it happen achievement stage of the second phase. Who knows? Someday, I might just press the reset button once again. It's a short trip. We should all enjoy it. Thank you all.